Liana Brooks walked into the glass doors of Marlin Tech with a soft smile on her face and a small lunchbox in her hands. Inside it was a homemade anniversary meal, one she had woken up before sunrise to make for her husband, Jordan, the CEO of the company. She wanted to surprise him before his afternoon meetings began. The lobby was modern and glowing bright white walls, polished floors, and screens displaying company achievements. Employees hurried by, wearing ID cards and headsets, barely glancing her way. To them, she was just another face. Then one woman stopped. Her sharp eyes scanned Liana from head to toe like she was a problem that needed to be solved. Helena Price, head of human resources, feared by many, respected by few, trusted by none, who truly knew her. Helena's heels clicked hard against the marble floor as she walked over. Her expression already carried disgust, though Liana had said nothing yet. "Excuse me," Helena said, her tone sharp and cold. "Employees only beyond this point." Liana smiled politely. "Oh, I'm here to see my husband." Helena folded her arms. "Don't lie." The words hit like a slap. Liana blinked, caught off guard. "I'm not lying. You people always try to bluff your way in," Helena interrupted, raising her voice so everyone nearby could hear. A few employees stopped walking. Heads turned. Conversations died down. The air suddenly felt tight. Liana's smile faded, replaced with confusion. "Ma'am, I have an appointment. If you check?" Helena laughed, a cruel, dismissive sound. "There's no appointment. And even if there was, this building doesn't allow unverified visitors." Isnosa Merrickley, her tone dripped with condescension, every word sharpened like a knife. "Now, put that box down and step back before I call security." Liana held the box tighter. "Please, But before she could finish, Helena snatched the lunchbox straight from her hands. She opened it, looked inside, and sneered. "A pathetic attempt," she hissed. "Who sent you? Which employee are you chasing this time? Or did you think pretending to be close to the CEO would get you a job?" Liana's jaw clenched. "This is for my husband." Wrong answer. The moment was electric. Phones began to rise. Cameras blinked red. A few employees quietly hit record. They could sense what was coming, something bad. Helena stepped closer, her perfume stinging the air. "I don't know what fantasy you're living in, but you're leaving now." She held the lunchbox above a nearby trash bin. "Don't," Liana said quickly, her voice trembling but firm. Helena smiled, the kind of smile that meant, "I'm enjoying this." Then, with an almost theatrical motion, she opened a bottle of cold water and poured it straight down Liana's face. The shock was instant. Liana gasped as icy water splashed over her face, her hair, her clothes soaking her completely. The small lunchbox in her hand dripped with the meal she'd lovingly prepared that morning. The entire lobby went silent. Someone dropped a tablet. Another whispered, "Oh my God, she's live streaming this." Helena didn't stop. She threw the empty bottle aside and said, loud enough for everyone to hear, "Now you look like what you are, an intruder trying to scam her way into a building she doesn't belong in." "I too?" Liana stood frozen, drenched, her eyes wide with humiliation. Every second felt longer than a minute. Helena leaned in close, her lips curling. "When security gets here, they'll escort you out like the trash you—" But before she could finish, the elevator dinged. The doors slid open, and Jordan Brooks stepped out. The world seemed to stop moving. For a second, he didn't understand what he was seeing. Then his expression changed: shock, fury, disbelief, all clashing at once. His wife, his Liana, stood in the middle of his company lobby, dripping wet, shaking, surrounded by stunned employees. "Liana?" His voice thundered through the silence. Helena spun around, instantly switching her tone. "Mr. Brooks, thank God you're here. I caught this woman trespassing. She was—" Jordan didn't even blink. His voice dropped like stone. "That woman is my wife." Helena's mouth fell open. Gasps spread through the lobby. One employee covered her mouth. Another whispered, "Oh no." Jordan walked straight to Liana, his face pale with anger and heartbreak. He gently placed his hands on her shoulders. "Who did this?" Liana didn't answer. She didn't need to. Everyone's eyes had already turned toward Helena. Jordan turned slowly to face her, the kind of slow that comes before a storm. "Helena Price," he said, his voice calm but sharp as glass. "Tell me exactly what you just did." Helena stammered. "Sir, I assumed—" "You assumed?" Jordan stepped closer. "You assumed you could insult her, touch her, pour water on her, destroy something she made for me, humiliate her in front of my employees and customers, on a live stream?" Helena's breath quickened. "I thought she was lying." "You thought," Jordan repeated. "And your thought process is exactly why I'm about to do this." He turned to everyone in the lobby. His voice carried the weight of leadership and justice. "My name is Jordan Brooks. As of this moment, Helena Price is terminated from Marlin Tech. Effective immediately." The room erupted in gasps. A few employees clapped quietly. Others exchanged looks of disbelief. Helena's face turned red. "You can't do that! I've been here since this company started. I built this place." Jordan's expression didn't change. "You built walls, not a company. You built fear, discrimination, and favoritism." Helena shook her head, desperate. "You can't prove anything." Jordan took out his phone. "Actually, I can." He tapped a few buttons and played an audio recording. Helena's own voice filled the air. "We need the right image for Marlin Tech. Not people who don't fit the culture." Helena froze. The color drained from her face. Jordan continued. 731 rejected applications. 90% from black candidates, all more qualified than the people you hired. Helena tried to move, but Jordan lifted a hand. "Don't. You've done enough damage." He turned to security. "Escort Miss Price out." 2 guards stepped forward. Helena panicked. "Wait! You're making a mistake. I was protecting the company." Jordan looked at her with deep disappointment. "You weren't protecting the company. You were protecting your prejudice. And that ends today." Helena tried to resist, as security took her by the arms, shouting curses, excuses, and threats. But it didn't matter anymore. The world had seen. The cameras had caught it all. By evening, the live stream had millions of views. By morning, major news networks had the story. HR manager fired after publicly humiliating CEO's wife. Civil rights organizations contacted Liana. Job applicants came forward with stories of rejection and bias. Marlin Tech's name flooded social media, but this time, it was about truth and accountability. Helena Price faced lawsuits, federal investigation, and public disgrace. Within a week, she was blacklisted across the entire HR industry. Jordan and Liana didn't hide. They faced the storm head-on. They rebuilt Marlin Tech from the ground up. New policies, new leadership, transparent hiring. Jordan promoted diverse teams. Liana launched mentorship programs for women and minorities in tech. Within months, the company transformed into one of the most inclusive workplaces in the country. Job applicants began sending letters thank yous to Liana. "You spoke for people who couldn't speak for themselves. Because of you, I got my first job in tech. Your strength gave me courage to keep trying." At the next annual company conference, Jordan walked on stage and smiled. "Before I start," he said, "I'd like to introduce someone who taught me that leadership isn't about titles. It's about humanity." He gestured toward Liana. "Please welcome our new Chief Equity Officer, Mrs. Liana Brooks." The entire audience stood up. The applause rolled like thunder. Some clapped, some cried. Everyone knew they were witnessing something bigger than business. They were watching justice rewritten. Liana walked to the microphone. Her voice was calm, warm, but strong. "Humiliation doesn't destroy you," she said softly. "It reveals who you are. And when you stand up after it, you find out what you're truly made of." The room went silent. Her words lingered, echoing through every heart in that hall. Jordan smiled proudly beside her. "Dignity," he said into the mic, is non-negotiable. The clip of her speech went viral again, this time for all the right reasons. People around the world commented. This gave me chills. Powerful reminder that no job title justifies disrespect. She didn't just survive, she changed an entire company. News outlets called it the moment that redefined corporate accountability. Liana didn't chase fame. She just wanted people to remember one thing, that arrogance falls the moment truth rises. At home that evening, Jordan wrapped his arms around her and whispered, "You turned my company into something better than I ever imagined." She smiled faintly. "No, Jordan. We did. Together." They ate the same meal she had made that morning, the one that never got shared. This time, it tasted like victory. If you believe dignity is not something you ask for, but something you deserve, then make your voice impossible to ignore. Like this story, share it everywhere, and comment below where you're watching from. And tell us which moment hit you hardest. Because sometimes, justice doesn't arrive in a courtroom. It arrives in a lobby when truth refuses to stay silent.